Game 1 here in Carolina goes to the home team. The Carolina Hurricanes, a 3-1 win over the Islanders. The score not indicative of how tight this game was. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz post-game show. Shannon Hogan, Thomas Hickey with you now. Butch and Brendan will be joining us in just a little bit. We're going to have all kinds of interviews for you and analysis, so stick around for the next hour or so. Thomas, tough one to lose, mostly because the Islanders really played well in this game.
Yeah, it's weird because in the playoffs, I think you come away from this game and it almost feels worse because you played so well, and I don't want to keep on going back to last year, but in this building, Game 1 last year really got outplayed, and they lost a close game. And I thought, you know what, that's maybe the template. You're going to win some of those tonight. Is it the one that got away? Because they played well enough to win the game, and I think for this group, really impressed after not getting the start that they wanted to just put Carolina on their heels, and they played Islander hockey today. I think the coach and the players are really going to be happy with their performance today, and if you go and do that and put that out again, you're going to get rewarded in the shots on goal. The New York Islanders, 9 more than the Carolina Hurricanes. Played really well. Frederik Andersen, you know what? He hung in there. He was good tonight, and I didn't think he looked overly confident to begin, but the Islanders certainly had some good looks. It's going to be tough, but I think for this group, you're going to feel probably a little beaten down, but if you remain upbeat, you got good reason for it because they certainly came and worked tonight.
And we're going to hear from the head coach and the players. I'm sure they've picked up some, things that they've learned from Game 1 here, and that's why they play a best-of-7 series, Thomas, because you never know what could happen in Game 2. Let's take the fans at home through how this one unfolded here in Raleigh. First period. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Evgeny Kuznetsov is first of the postseason here in Game 1, a power play goal for Carolina.
It starts off the face-off, and as hard as it is to get the puck down the ice when you have time, you need to make sure, because many times you're under duress, but in this instance, you had a chance to clear it and you didn't. That's Noesen in front of the net. He scored later on, but took away the eyes of Varlamov, and it wasn't one of those short side goals that you get mad at. It was just a nice shot because Kuznetsov in the perfect spot. You had to respond after that. When
you dream up the impact that you can make in your NHL rookie season, I'm thinking Kyle McLean's feeling good. He's just getting started in the postseason.
It's just so impressed with him going over the last couple weeks, but tonight, his playoff debut, some guys are made for the tougher games, and Kyle McLean certainly one of them. Gets his team on the board, first career playoff goal, and just like that, the Islanders are sitting in a good spot once again.
Hey, nothing happened score-wise in the second period, a really tight game. You go to the third, and once again, early on in this period, it's Carolina getting on the board.
We didn't see it too often today with their defensemen getting involved, but that was Brady Shea that came down, and that made this thing tough to get out and just follow the bounces, follow the puck off the stick, off of the shoulder, and then quickly on the stick of Noesen and in the back of the net. He's been really good come playoff time. Their depth guys were solid today.
2 minutes to go. Patrick Waugh pulls his goaltender, and here you go, an empty netter for Marty Necas. This did not end according to plan.
No, and 3-1 game, but this was right there for them. You lose the face-off. We talked about winning a big one, not getting out. Well, if you lose it, you're going to do your very best. Marty Necas just a little bit too strong, and he willed that one in the net. I think for this group, you see that go in the back of the net. It's deflating, but this won't be the last time you're going to be in an empty net situation in this series. Probably a couple more times yet. So if you can find a way to keep one out when you got the lead, or you're probably going to come down to finding a way to come up with one of those goals 5-on-6.
Some of the keys that we talked about for the series and also for this game, Butch Goring mentioning that special teams would be important, and you can see Carolina there 1 for 3 on the power play. Islanders 0 for 2 on the power play, but significantly out shooting the Carolina Hurricanes here in Game 1, 34-26.
Islanders, a lot to feel good about in Game 1. I think you look at it and go, first period 1-1, probably the way it should have been, 1-1 after one. Second period, though, Hurricanes were fortunate not to be down after 2 the way the Islanders took over the game in the second.
Yeah, they had a real good second period, and we talked, that's been their Achilles heel all season long. They've been terrible in the second period, and it was going to be important, and maybe was going to be the game changer. And the Islanders had a great second period, and they had several opportunities to score goals and didn't. And then the third period is what it is. It's, who scores first is probably going to win the hockey game.
And the Islanders had their chances to score first, couldn't get it done in that third period. And one of the things we talked about a lot in the beginning part of this game and even before the game, setting up the series, was special teams were going to be a big part of this series. Islanders gave up the early power play goal, which certainly hurt them. Then on the power play, first power play they got, was dreadful. The second power play, something, though, to build off of for game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of my keys. You know, who wins the special teams battle? Well, game 1 goes to the Carolina Hurricanes. And you're right. The first power play looked like they'd never been together again. They was just never got anything going at all. It was just turnover after turnover. They didn't create any sort of offensive opportunities, and they didn't give the Hurricanes any opportunities. I think we were kidding and saying, well, they didn't get scored on at least, because that was about the only thing that was missing from the Hurricanes as far as that. But then at the end of the day, you know, when they needed a power play goal, Brendan, and they had the chance late in the third period, that was a critical moment, and that's what playoff games are all about, and making that power play work at the right time. And the Islanders certainly could have had a chance as we take a little look as Palmieri, a couple of good passes. And the Islanders started to move the puck around sooner, found some holes, and Hurricanes were running around. So the Islanders were able to get some opportunities, win the battles one-on-one, and create some chances. And there's a great chance by Palmieri. So that was very positive for me. But again, it's always going to be, can you score a goal when you need it most? And the percentages don't mean a doggone thing. And the Islanders had a chance to tie it up. Unfortunately, they didn't. But I loved the way they played. I thought they created some chances to score. I thought they were every bit as good as the Hurricanes. In fact, maybe just a little bit better, other than the fact, obviously, the Hurricanes won the hockey game. Let's not take anything away from them. But I think Patrick Waugh is going to say he was really pleased with his team.
Well, when you look back at the game, too, Frederik Andersen was the best player for the Carolina Hurricanes. That's always a good sign for the opposing team if the goalie was the best player for the Hurricanes in Game 1.